Alright guys, welcome to Codeside Academy Python tutorial. It's the Python guy again. Alright, and in this one we're going to be talking about Python data types and commenting. The concept of commenting is something that you are going to be doing in any programming language you are going to be working on or you are going to be working with, all the way from HTML to any programming level at all, to any programming language at all that you're going to be doing. Even though somebody has told me that HTML is also a programming language, I concur. Okay, in this one we are going to be talking about commenting. So what is commenting? Commenting is always a way, is just a way of writing a statement that is going to be ignored by your interpreter. That is, if you're writing an interpreted language, writing a code that is going to be ignored. And also if you're running a compiled language, right, writing statement that the compiler is always going to skip. It's not going to make any meaning out of it, but of course it's going to be useful and readable to you, human. And the essence of commenting is if you are writing a code that you are working as a team now, so to say, very important, you're working as a team and the same source code that you've written, and that person is coming to work on them to make adjustment, to make corrections. You are going to have to stick by the convention of adding comments to your blocks of code. Not only that, chances are if you are programming, writing a software is not really a line of code. You might be having code that is spanning over thousands of lines, and guess what, you can easily get dazed off by your same code that you've written. So this is where comment really comes in very handy. If you are commenting your blocks, it will be easy for you to get back to whenever you want. So I'm just going to show you how you do commenting in Python. Commenting is always going to be anything that is preceded by the hash symbol. All right, this is an inline comment. All right, so there is no how I'm going to run this particular script now that this is going to be outputted to my screen. Is that clear? It's always going to be like this because it's a comment. The computer is going to see it as comment because the interpreter doesn't interpret it. It see this and it just jump to the next line immediately, as quick as possible. All right, that is what comment is. Now we have that I call that is called an inline comment. This is also there is also another type of commenting that that span over a single line. All right, if you have this now like this, all right, those quotes must be corresponding. Okay, and I call this is block comments. All right, and another comments, and so on. All right, so take observation of the color coding that's actually coming out. Of course, there is a string system that you can actually do with these three triple quotes. All right, so if you're opening a triple quote here, make sure you have a corresponding triple quotes. All right, so this doesn't matter if it's a single quote or a double quote like this. All right, so long as you are using double quotes. All right, if I have that, I'm going to have a corresponding double quote. All right, so I can't have this and say this. All right, I must be joking if I do that. All right, so that's just it. So this is how we do commenting in Python programming language. So anytime the interpreter sees a block of code like this, it's actually going to skip it. It's not going to interpret it. It virtually doesn't make any meaning out of it, but of course it makes meaning to you as a human behind the screen or behind the computer, because computer can work by itself, right? Yeah. All right, so that's that. The same thing goes if I say if I come here and I say my number num is equals to 10, for instance. All right, this statement is very valid. You are aware, of course, I'm sure you are. This statement is very valid, but the moment I come in here and I put this, all right, it's no more valid. The computer can't make any meaning out of it. So if I come in here now and I say print that same number, okay, that same number, you see, I have this here and I have this here. If I go ahead and run this script now, it's going to tell me that num is not defined. You know why? Because I have annulled it. Yeah, I have added this hash sign symbol here. Computer is going to be seeing it and it's not going to be making any meaning out of it. That is how you do commenting. Please keep it at the back of your mind. Okay, so I'm going to be sticking by what I'm telling you about, and I will say Python data types. All right, so let's talk about Python data type. Now, why is it so necessary that we talk about data types? That is because if you're going to be giving instructions to computer, you're going to have to know how computer actually sees things. All right, computer is being said to be a binary machine. That is, whatever instruction you are giving to computer, it's going to have to convert it in a sort of ways before it can make meaning out of them. Yeah, so you see, scientists have actually really tried. I give a thumbs up for them. Any number because computer is a binary machine, any number I enter between 1 to 9, between 0 to 9, so to say, all right, is always going to come out valid. All right, it's never going to throw an error because it's native to computer. But now if I come in here and I type in this, okay, sure, it's going to throw an error. It's going to say that this particular name is not recognized. It's not even a keyword. All right, so where is this coming? Where the heck is this coming from? That's what it means. So this is name error. It's saying that name is not defined. All right, so and there are times like this whereby syntactic errors is going to be pointed out immediately by the shell, the Python shell. But there are actually some errors that Python shell can detect, something like logic errors, right, which we are going to talk about later on. So that's just it. Okay, so now let's actually go ahead and list out the various data types that we have, and I'm going to put all these in the comments so that you see them. Put this here like this. Okay, so the first one is the string. All right, the second one is something called integer, not integer. All right, then the other one we have something called floats. All right, numbers with decimal value. Then we have another one called boolean. All right, boolean, on or off, true or false, 0 and 1. Computer is very fast at actually interpreting that. Okay, then we have another some other data types. We've got list. All right, something like whenever you see something like this, denotes list in Python. Then you have other one called tuple. Right, whenever you see something like this, is tuple. Then you've got something called dictionary. Dictionary. Okay, which comes with the curly brace like this. All right, these are very common data types we have in Python. These are the most common that you're going to be working with, aside from classes and others. All right, so this actually represents objects. If you be hearing the word object, vector, and similar stuff like that, dictionary in Python is defined as a key value pair base object, base data type. All right, key value pair base. right? In here you can actually see a name is equals to a name is Victor, age is 21, height is one, blah blah blah, stuff like that. So it's a key value pair based. Then tuple is collections of an immutable items. All right, collections of immutable items. That is what tuple is. It actually behaves very much like a list. Then um, list in Python is similar to what you could say is an array in other programming languages. Is that clear? If you are doing C or PHP or a JavaScript, right? That is what a list. That's what list is in. That's what list is in Python. Then Boolean is true or false data type. All right, is true or false data type. Then float is numbers with decimal values. That is what float is. All right, float is numbers with decimal value. Okay, if I say this now, so this is an example of float. Is that clear? So let me actually bring this out so that you see. Okay, all right, so that's it. So now integer behaves like a whole number. It's a whole number or any number that doesn't have a fractional value or decimal value. All right, it could be this. Okay, it could actually be anything. All right, and it could be an integer is an integer so long as it doesn't have any additional value to it. So these are examples of integer. Then strings are the normal words, normal human words that computer actually can't really make meaning out of it. You saw when we write this word here now, it says no. The same thing if I go ahead and say and type in if I go here and type in video. Okay, once I hit enter now, it's going to tell me that there is syntax error, right? Syntax error. Video. Let me see that. It's saying it as okay, syntax error. Okay, let me see video. Okay, you're going to say video is not defined, right? Because it doesn't really understand this by default. But you saw when I enter this other one, it picks it very fast. Okay, that is various data types. So now how do you treat strings? Strings are always going to be whatever you want the computer to output verbatimly, right? Verbatimly, you shouldn't process it, you shouldn't make anything out of it, you should just put it there because you want it to be there. All right, so you are going to be quoting the computer, or you want the computer to quote you how you have said it. So in that case, you're always going to have to put any string form of data type within a quote. Okay, so if I had put in these words in string like this, all right, computer wouldn't have yell at me like that. Okay, I'm going to do this on purpose, like video. Okay, so I did this on purpose. Double quote and single quote doesn't really have any constraints. If you want to know, they don't have any constraints. You can use single quote and you can use double quotes. It all depends on you. Okay, so this is how Python is going to be treating string information. The same thing goes with numbers. If you put any number in string in a quote, computer is going to see it as a string. This is not going to throw an error. It's going to see it as a string. Is that clear? That is, it's not going to process it. It's not going to add anything to it. So whatever you call this value is always going to come out just like that. I hope that is clear. Hopefully. So these are the data types that we have in Python. we are going to be working with them a lot. So I will encourage you, if you can, if you are at your disposal, to read ahead, to make your researches, so that whenever you are having hitches, as we are doing this one, because we are really taking it very very slow, very slow, so that you can get a full grasp of it. Okay, so I have put in all this now inside the comment, inside the comment inside the comment block. But what I said I wanted to show you, if I go ahead now and say, let's say my str is equals to maybe this. Okay, so let's save this, and see what we can do. Yeah, we actually made a folder on the desktop where we are going to be saving our Python. Okay, let's call this Python data type, alright, lesson.py, alright, to describe it as a Python file. Alright, so I actually run that script, but I'm not having any error here. Exactly, so I'm not having any error. How do I know that I'm not having any error? Because it come back with this prompt right here, still waiting for my instruction. Okay, so let me make an output here and see. I want to make an output, and let me call this my string. I hope. Okay, so let me save this. Yeah, I'm doing shortcut saving there. I can actually go like this. Okay, so look at what I told you about that. You might be wondering, because it actually see this as a string. Okay, so there's something called function string, function documenting. So this is how function string is being done. Okay, and if you take a look at this place, the way I have it here is the way it's outputting it, but without the quotes. So that's just what I want you to know, guys. These are the various data types that you want to know, and that you'll be working with in time. Now, how do you know that a particular value is of particular data type? Is that clear? There are various ways you can find out. Okay, let's quickly do something very very important here before I allow this session to end. Okay, so let's go ahead and declare series of variables and assign them with values like this. Okay, I'm going to start with string, and I'm going to say name is equals to Victor. Alright, and I'm going to say score is equals to number there now, and I'm going to say salary is let's say 76 or 00. Yeah, so and the other one is favorites or fruits, so to say. Favorite, yeah, let's say fruits, like I told you, list. Okay, so list, inside the list I'm going to have collections of items. Okay, so we're going to be having, let's say, orange. Alright, and I'm going to be having what I call just like that. Sorry, this has to come in quotes. Alright, you can say strawberry. Alright, so that should be it. Alright, So now let's do for tuple now, and let's now say colors as well, because colors actually behave as tuple actually behave the same way list behave. Okay, I'm going to call this now red. Blue. And let me call this magenta. All right. Okay, so now let's quickly do for dictionary. We'll come back to all this in much later lesson, but for now let's just pay attention. Now if I'm talking about dictionary, I could just say person. All right, the person is this. Okay, yeah, so what's the person's name? All right, so the person's name is you, not you. The person's name is Victor. Okay, and what's the person's height? The person's height. Right, person's height, okay, is going to be 2, okay, 0.00, yeah, 2.0 or 2.1. okay, let's let this is just that's just it. Okay, now so let's find out the built-in keyword to know the data types of what you have. So if I go in here and I say print type, all right, the type of name. Okay, so this is already coming to, let me just say Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl V, Ctrl V. Okay, so put this right here. Okay, okay, so why am I actually doing this? In real life programming, you're going to be facing some challenges whereby you actually want to find out what is the data type that you are getting at this point. So you want to find out. Okay, so that's why we are doing this. Okay, so now this type is actually saying, okay, I want to know the type of value that is in this place that these variables are holding. Right, I want to know the data type they are holding. That's why we are using the keyword type. See, this is a built-in function. Okay, so if we run this now, it's going to run, and one after the other. The first one is the type of string, which we've talked about here. You see, the name, this name is a data type of string. This now this score is a data type of integer. You see that, integer. Then the salary is a type of float. Is that clear? So when is it advisable that you use float? When you're calculating maybe height, when you're calculating maybe monetary values, you're going to be sticking by using float. Okay, because float decimal values are actually valid, so you might not want to joke with that. All right, so now fruits, the type of fruit is showing me that it's a list. Okay, that's a list, so it's telling us that it's a list. Then the type of colors is tuple. All right, collections of an immutable values. Now I actually put this comma here. on purpose. If you take a look at list, this doesn't have it, so tuple is always going to be like this. All right, even if you don't have any other value coming in there, but that comma just have to be there. All right, then the type of person is dictionary. See, same class of dict. Just as I've told you, is a value of key value pair basis. All right, so that's basically it about Python data types. As you may have noticed, Python doesn't use other keyword like keywords in declaring variables. Exactly, and you don't have to put all this maybe at the end of your your statements like this. No, you don't have to do that. All right, so easily type and all that. As a matter of fact, let me show you something. Okay, let me show you something very funny. So on your Python shell, go to your Python shell and type this command. Once you hit enter, it's going to bring you something we call design of Python. Okay, does this look surprising? Okay, so that's it guys for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to see you again next time.